Prajna, are you actually with us, Prajna?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, thank you, Prajna. Prajna and sometimes Kali as well, if you can get a word in. Hi, Kali.
I'm always here. I'm just usually stoned, too stoned to talk.
Well, it's a better state of consciousness than some of the people who we've been hearing about from Nigel. So yeah, I think I would go for stoned whenever possible.
We've just been watching a video of Loz and his dad keeping some bailiffs away who came along to evict them. It's up on YouTube, and the title of the video, in fact, if people want to go to Vigilante 330, that's got the video on that channel. It's People versus the Banks. Conviction beats eviction. And for anyone who's involved in this side of of things, dealing with mortgages and so on, that is well worth watching, because the police come along and the police tell the bailiffs to sod off because they haven't got the right paperwork, and that's how it should go in the vast majority of cases.
They actually said if the bailiffs were to trespass on the property, then it would be a criminal matter and they'd have to get involved. And they sent the bailiffs off to go back to the courts and get their case sorted out.
If you can post that into the Darckcity chat room,
I'll certainly do that.
Because they all get saved. I've not worked out how it's done yet, but all the links that are getting put into that chat room do get saved. They're on a big list, and we can...
Fantastic.
Well, if we ever get any time... no, eventually we'll have a...
Well, I can't believe it's 8:25. You know, I was sitting there about 6:30 thinking, it's going to be Darckcity Radio any minute, and the next thing I look and I get a call from you, and
I didn't even know we were on tonight. I thought it was last night.
Right, well, we'd used to do a Darckcity. Well, we've done them all over the place. Nigel has got a lot of commitments. He's got his fingers in a lot of pies. So getting the
hello, Nigel, by the way.
Say again, Kali.
I said hello, Nigel, by the way.
Hiya.
So he's got a lot of commitments. So trying to find a time slot where Nigel can get his stuff out, and this is the tip of the iceberg. And for those of you who don't know, Nigel is the I'll call you man rather than a gentleman. He's the man.
I am a gentleman.
Yeah, all right. Nigel's the man who assisted us greatly. In fact, it was me and Nigel who were instrumental in starting off the Ashton allotment action. If it hadn't been for me...
I remember you telling us about him, actually, Paul, yeah.
Yeah, he was in London, actually, in Westminster on the last day. But there's a few people, well, that topic comes up, actually, why not? There's a few people coming down this Saturday to the site, which is pretty cool. The weather doesn't look great. It might just be a case of, oh, look, here we go, there's the land, and let's go for a cup of tea.
Yeah, let's go prepared, anyway.
But on the other hand, if we can, like Nigel says, go prepared, be prepared. So we'll... we need to get some of them mattocks. Are you called mattocks?
Mattocks.
Yes, if you've got one of them, that is the preferred weapon against soft rush.
It is. Yeah.
But a spade or a shovel will suffice. So if you are coming up there this Saturday...
Well, we've got one of them. In fact, we just collected a spade and a fork today, didn't we, babe?
Yeah.
That's why. That's right.
Yeah.
And it's not a major event. It's just a few of the people wanted to come up, and I think actually have a go at the ground.
Yeah.
Well, the last one was fabulous. We didn't actually get to see the ground because we got there a bit late, but the after party was certainly worth writing.
Yeah, it really was.
Thank you, Prajna. The Darckcity after parties. We're either we have a few secret locations around the area that we may use. So And that is the VIP. We've made it a VIP thing now. You can only come to the after party if you come to the gig. So you were very highly honoured.
Unless you're very, very special.
No. So yeah, if you are out there and you do want to get on Darkcity, we do need more hosts. We have got more hosts coming. Is it Vin James? Yes, Vin James.
Yeah.
He's coming on. He's doing a show before Dom's show on Sunday, and he's also taking the stream for a simulcast of Mark, and I can't remember his second name. But yeah, it's good stuff. I've listened to some of it. I'm not going to tell you any lies.
Bob Ceylon and John Wittery.
I don't know. Like I say, I'm not going to tell any lies with this. I haven't had real chance to look at a lot of what I've heard Vin speak, and it's bloody good stuff that I've heard. So yeah, look out for that. That's coming Sunday. Monday and Tuesday, it's pretty open reign. If you want to get something going on there, let us know. We are trying to fill up the evening slot if we possibly can. And the reason why we've slapped in this smaller Darkcity just for an hour behind Nigel, because, hey, we're all new to it. And it's good to give Nigel a little bit of support as he moves into his new time slot. So, yeah, and he's long-winded. He's like me. So we know that if he says it's going to take half an hour, we need to give him an hour and a half. So... And
you know what? It's a man thing. I've discovered recently that men can't half talk. Really, myself, Dawn, and Susan, we don't get a word in edgeways when the Darkcity crew are on. Really, do we?
Oh, I don't know. Dawn did all right the other day. We're having a push for to hear more of Dawn. She's a great girl as well, isn't she? A woman. I'll call her what she is. She's not a girl. She's a woman.
She's a woman, and she does some great research as well.
Oh yeah, and she can sing and dance and all sorts. It's like wow.
And she's got a lovely voice for radio.
She's got a beautiful voice for radio. So Susan,
our Scottish representative on Darkcity. So yeah, it's good stuff in it. Good stuff. Really chuffed. Anyway, the line is open, or lines, I should say. It does take quite a few callers. I think we've had about a dozen so far and no problems. If you do want to ring and you're outside the UK, it's 0044 161 298 0298. And if you just get a load of interference coming over the line, it's nothing to do with me. Somebody's just started on the mobile phone next to the microphone. Or if you want to contact us totally for free. Oh, just let me give that number from inside the UK. That'll be 0161 298 0298. It's quite an easy number to remember. It took us a while to get that number, so yeah. And if you're right in Manchester, of course, it's 298 0298. That's simple. Because the Darkcity is based, of course, as many of you know, in Manchester, or the main server is anyway. Or if you want to do it for free, Skype and just add Bob's Backyard. Now, a few of you have been adding Darkcity radio on Skype. Now, Darkcity radio is kind of a server. It's not real. Well, it's real, but it's not like Prajna or Kali or me or Nigel or any of you good people out there listening. So yeah, don't feel disheartened if Darkcity Radio has ignored you. The reason for that is it auto answers. So we don't want anybody making a mistake. Anybody who's on its friends group can ring up that station and go on air live. Excuse me, wrong way around. And the idea for that is you can all, or not all, but a good proportion of people can become Darkcity reporters, reporting what's happening in your town, in your city, there, in the moment, literally, hopefully. So,
especially if you got the cops standing there right next to you and all hell's breaking loose, then is the time.
Call into Darkcity, yeah.
Well, yes. Then is the time if you can. I mean, and the beauty of this is a camera can always be taken. A live stream is live, and if we're aware of that, okay, we're still setting up on Darkcity. Many people know that. We're still training and learning and getting things buttoned down. But yeah, that will be recorded. At the moment, we'd have to know you're ringing in and hit the record button, but it's coming. It really is coming. So yeah, that's the idea, or one of the ideas. Darkcity Radio, everyone can be a reporter. Now, all right, I know I'm a bit naive. In the first place, I opened the doors up and said everybody can come, and people come and abused it somewhat. So yeah, we've had to kind of put some limitations on that. And one of those is, if we don't know who you are, you cannot be Darkcity servers, Skype, pal, because after our experience...
But you can be Bob's friend. Everyone can be Bob's friend.
Everybody can be Bob's backyard's friend. Again, people call me Bob. That's what I'm commonly known as. You won't always get me on the phone. It might even be Prajna if he's not busy one afternoon. It could be Robo Hippie. It could be many of us. But we're all representatives of Darkcity, and the reason why Bob's Backyard is used, of course, to make it easy for you, it's darkcity.bobsbackyard. So yeah, add Bob's Backyard to your Skype, and away we go. Should be easy. And really, I'll tell another little truth. I made the mistake of putting on the call number. I should have actually done it the other way around. But hey, never mind. We're here now and it works. So, Nigel, I think, is almost ready and he's done now. So if you've got any more questions for Nigel, you need to get them in very quick. And if we haven't got any...
I'm just going to say goodbye and see you next week. Bye.
So there you go. That was our Pax Monday finishing off. And... on his way, Nigel Rowlands, for them who know him.
Bye.
Video will go up as usual. We are a little bit behind with the videos because we've been trying to use another medium rather than Google's YouTube. And many of you will get why. Some of you won't understand why I don't really like to support YouTube, although it has supported us. It's brought us many viewers, many listeners, and yeah. Well, that's the people who are doing it. So I've got issues being an original YouTube uploader under the name of Bob McMad. I am not signed over to the AdSense account. You'll notice if you come along recently to YouTube, you have to have a Google account. When you look into the small print of that, and AdSense is the way out. It's a con. It's pyramid cell.
I tried, Paul. I tried to comment on the video on YouTube, and I came up with this bitch about using my real name. Like, what is a real name anyway? But do I want to be my real name or Kaz67? I said I'll be Kaz67, Tor. And then it just gave me loads of hassle, so I abandoned the whole exercise. But yeah.
Yeah, if you notice when that happens, I think there's two like very large buttons. It tries to lead you into a position where you've got to continue. But I think it's the bottom left-hand button, big rectangle, get you around it.
Okay.
It's annoying. Why they try to get me as Bob McMahon, I do have actually Hydroponics #4 Life. Also the website as well, .co.uk, which is the aquaponics that I did. Which is, I'm told it's quite successful apparently. If you get over 250,000 hits, that's quite successful. I thought you needed millions on YouTube, but hey, what do I know? So that does alright. That's a good one for me. And I haven't used it yet. I only realised today that, oh wow, well, why not get them people who are subscribing and tell them we've got Darkcity Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Yeah. So yeah, thank everybody out there for the trolls, for trolling us as little Darkcity logo all over the place. To Vinny James, his website now is like a mirror. for Darkcity Radio. It's got the entire site embedded into his site, so that's really cool. I do believe that's happened elsewhere, but they haven't actually told us about it, and that's cool as well. We don't mind that happening. Yeah, it's good stuff, isn't it? Good stuff.
It's all part of it. If the trolls want to advertise us all over the place, so much the better.
I think it's funny that all these undercover cops are all going around funding all the protests and all that kind of thing. There wouldn't be any protests in this country if it wasn't for all the undercover cops and everyone else
and the common purpose infiltrators
that's supporting us. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Robo Hippie, his Facebook got hacked yesterday. Somebody tried hacking his Facebook account yesterday.
God.
So yeah, using an IP bounce through Indonesia. I just like to let people know you need to use at least 3 IP trackers, bouncers. Don't just use one in.
7 proxies it is.
Yeah, to make sure. I mean,
you're going to be behind 7 proxies. Otherwise, Anonymous is going to come and get you back for it.
No. This was a real amateur attempt at getting into his Facebook page. Really, it was. But yeah, be careful out there, boys and girls. You're not going to lose anything but your time and effort and your groups you've put together. There are people out there that do react aggressively and violently without any due cause towards nearly all people who are creative. And that's what we're doing here. We're coming together and, well, maybe not creative, but maybe we are manipulating our energies together because we want to implement alternatives. We are prepared to at least try the alternatives. And if Darkcity can inspire one single person to try an alternative, whether it works for you or not, we'd like to know. That is our mission. That would be the mission, I suppose. Just to encourage people out there, if you're not happy with the state of affairs, have a look around you. You can make a difference. It's those little tiny things you can do. And if we all just do one little thing towards that, no loss, no harm, and no deception. I don't think that's the answer, but it's a good way to go, I think. If we can just do that a little bit, you shop a little bit locally. Now that's triggered something for me. Darkcity Radio is now played in a coffee shop in Ashton-under-Lyne Market. Ashton-under-Lyne Market. It's called Ashton Coffee. He's had a coffee blended and it's brilliant. You can listen to this, is how good it is, right? It's only a really small place. You just stand at the front of it and get your coffee. It's mainly to go. You can sit there, but he's only got about 3 or 4 seats. You can get a double latte, if you're like me, a double shot latte. So you can get 4 shots. 4 shots per pound. For £1. You try that in Starbucks. You can buy the finest quality bacon in Ashton Market. You won't get any better anywhere. Now look, it sounds like I'm advertising. I want to tell you what's happened with these people. Our local authority and council are trying to put them all on a 3-month contract. That market ground burnt down and those people have already gone through enough. They paid the council insurance money. And that insurance money didn't cover them for total loss. They've lost hundreds of thousands of pounds, those traders inside that market. They're good quality traders selling local produce, the majority of it, local produce, in a local area. And the local authority are trying to put them on a 3-month contract. It's not, no job's pretty safe at the moment. Nobody's has got a safe job in the UK. But these people are vital. They are vital. If you look how the way energies move around, you look around traditional market grounds, ancient market grounds, and we've been ambushed there by fictitious currency. So yeah, I just wanted to put a bit of a shout out for those people in that market. Because we're all going through trying times, and to have the people who are supposed to be helping you obviously try to put them under more pressure, under more ridiculous contracts, where they're renting them a market ground. That market ground doesn't belong to the council. those are local traders. The council should let them trade there free of charge, because they're providing the local people with a service. That's what's happening. When people come to small shops, and I'm not talking about Asda or Walmart or any of these big Tesco's or anything like that. I'm talking about the small-time traders. Their markets are a perfect example of this. They've slowly been decreased by authorities, I'm told, all over the country. We really do need to, as best you can. I know money's tight, but if the product's cheaper, you'd be a fool not to. You know, this is not only good, better quality stuff, it's cheaper. I buy my bacon, I'm only picking this out for one, I buy bacon and sausages, and I get my coffee while I'm there as well, and they're cheaper than Asda whoopsie. Okay?
And the money stays local.
It does.
Supporting local business.
And you're not transporting stuff for miles and miles and miles and then transporting it all the way back again. You know, these big supermarkets, they'll buy off a farmer, transport all the way up to Scotland into their warehouse, and then transport it all the way back to the shop round the corner.
They take all the produce. It actually even gets taken abroad to be packaged and then brought back. You know,
to be adulterated with horse meat and so on.
Well, yeah, like there was more meat came in from Russia, didn't it, via Poland, somewhere else, and it had been in a deep freeze for 20 years. So yeah, we've had these things. I don't really like the scare tactics. You know, this can happen anywhere. I can't see what the major problem has been. You know, all this about meat and you know, I'm surprised there is any beef in a beef burger, to be honest. I think you're lucky you did get some beef. Let's be honest.
The thing is, though, Paul, it's that the vast majority of people have no idea what they're eating. The beef horse meat thing is kind of irrelevant, because if you're going to eat meat, you're going to eat meat. But you have a right to know what it is that you're eating. And when you start to look into that, and all the additives in the food, it's poison, for goodness sake.
And now Monsanto's putting fish genes in tomatoes and stuff, so even us poor veggies don't get a say about whether we're veggie or not. Yeah,
you're quite right. Well, I'll mention the aquaponics. I like to keep mentioning that. It's a trigger. I find that's one of the things that kind of pushed me forward. Like I say, I built a little one in the corner, and the rest of it was to prove that it could be, you know, it was feasible.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is everyone says you are what you eat.
Many people think that farmed fish are good for them. It's good for the environment. You know, fish farming is good for them and it's good for the environment. But to keep fish in these fish farms in the quantities they do, stocked to the amount that they stock the fish, and they have to give them antibiotics and hormones and so forth. And these farms are always next to a water supply, which is then returned back. The water is brought in from a natural source and put back. This can actually be seen on satellite photographs in some countries. So yeah, there's that side of it, and then the hydroponics. Most people think that hydroponics fruit and veg is a much healthier thing to eat than soil-grown fruit and vegetables. This is preposterous. It really is. It makes no difference at all. If you're using chemical nitrate fertilizers to grow the food, it don't make any difference. It doesn't matter whether it's been grown in soil or it's been grown in hydroponics. You're still using chemical fertilizers.
Yeah.
Now, there's another one here, and I had research on this a while ago from Spain. I don't know if it's still the case, but they were testing for pesticides in tomatoes, cucumbers, from Spain, and they use polythene tunnels a lot for growing in.
Yeah.
And insecticides that were being used, but they were outdoor pesticides, if you see what I mean. The strengths they were being used and sprayed, and of course there is no degradation of the pesticide through rain and through wind and so forth. And it was building up concentrates of pesticide in the skins of these vegetables. So yeah, it was, again, this is manufactured food. That's what we've done. Now look, aquaponics solves the problem of manufactured food. It does. It really does. I mean, I don't really think we should be manufacturing our food, in a sense. I would like to get over to the permaculture ideology as brought into us by Badger. Wouldn't it be nice? But we need to be able to go to agriculture and say, here is an alternative. Here's an alternative.
You know what I was thinking yesterday, actually? When we head off to Wales in a couple of weeks, hopefully we'll be landing on a farmer's field somewhere. Now, there are farmers up and down the length of the country who are being paid not to grow food on their fields. Their fields are just sitting doing nothing, and I imagine that will break a lot of their hearts anyway. So if we can approach these farmers and ask about, look, can we take a field and maybe do some permaculture or aquaponics or whatever it might be on there to grow food locally for local people, you know, all that sort of stuff. I think there's a lot of farmers out there that may well just bite our hands off, and they might even want us to build airships on their land.
Well, you know, wouldn't it be great if you could go to a farmer that simply and say, I would like to put a carbon neutral building on this piece of land that has no impact on the environment whatsoever. Will increase the quality and value of your land, and the building potentially will last forever. And by the way, we'll plant you a forest. You know, this just needs, and I learned a little bit from that Badger me the other day.
I learnt loads from Badger.
Yeah, I want him to come back and say exactly the same as what he said, but do it over 10 hours, so I can keep up. It's amazing amount of information. But I can see that the long term and the implementation of it, to get it going and get it started, has got to be one of the cheapest ways I've seen. You know, it's using the natural land and stones and whatever's available around you to actually get it going. It's a great idea. Where if you're going into aquaponics, then you're going to have more materials. Not saying it can't work. It does work, I know that.
Well, aquaponics is ideal, as you've proven, Paul. It's ideal for the city. And many people still have to live in cities, you know. So, and your little backyard with your aquaponics system is ideal.
And it is little, isn't it? You've seen it, haven't you, Kali? I like to try and impress how small that backyard is. Many people have seen it on video and they think it's quite large. But literally, it is half the size of a normal terraced house backyard.
The extension has taken a lot of what was the yard, eh?
There's a ginnel as well. There's the little alleyway that runs up the back of my house, which takes another 3 foot off the length of it. So it's a small backyard, by anyone's standard. And when we use this word yard, many of our American and Canadian brothers and sisters think I'm talking about something which is 15 acres.
They're thinking paddock.
Yeah, think 3 foot. 3 feet in a yard, isn't there?
My yard is 6 feet wide and about 9 feet long. The working space for the aquaponics is, I would say, 3 feet wide and 7 foot, maybe 6 foot long. Maybe 6 foot be 3 foot. Is containment of it, and that system could be scaled up or down.
There's lots of people that have a balcony, won't they?
As well, yeah.
It can be done on a balcony. I've seen a guy, I do believe in Halifax, or was it Huddersfield, or Horsham, began with an H anyway, and he had one on his balcony. Okay, he was just setting off, and to be honest, it won't work what he had there. But a lot of what he had does work. The vertical grow systems, very easy to get your head around, very cheap to actually buy the materials and make one. They're actually made out of a piece of viscreen, which is placed under concrete, and you can normally pick a bit of that up off someone.
Yeah, builder sites.
And roofing lats. Roofing lats, that's it. That's all you need. Then you collect yourself some local medium. Many of them use, for the weight, really, it's only for the weight, they do use the volcanic clay-covered balls. Because they are an excellent medium. Excellent medium. Anyone who's had fish tanks or fish ponds who's had a little bacterial filter in it has seen these volcanic stones. They've seen them. The balls that you actually see are the volcanic pumice type stone, which has been covered in terracotta clay. Just keep some. Make some. So yeah, use any kind of medium really. There's lots you can use. I've seen people use broken glass. Yeah, I mean, yeah, why not? It's a waste product and you can use it. I suppose you have to be a little bit careful when you're planting out. But broken glass, I've seen slate, shale, broken slate used. A shale, that's okay. One little thing you can do, if you're looking for like river stones or small pebbles and stuff locally, if you've got a quarry or a disused quarry and there's enough of it kicking around, you're sourcing your medium locally, get some white vinegar, plain white vinegar. Get a sample before you go moving loads of it, you know. Get a sample, get a little sample and a test tube or a jam jar. White vinegar's very cheap. Costs you about maybe £2.50, about $4 for a gallon. So you've got plenty. Oh. And just pour some of your white vinegar over the stone in the glass. If it starts to fizz, it contains lime. You don't want it. It'll bring the pH up too high for you. So that's a really cheap, easy test you can do to see if you have got a local medium that can be used.
And that's the only thing you'd want to use that spirit vinegar for as well. Definitely don't stick it on your chips.
No, but you can clean your fridge with it and all sorts of things.
Oh, windows you can clean. Your fridge does an awful good job of your bath. If you've got a coffee maker or a kettle and it's got all lime scaled, and they all do eventually, I think it's about 50 mils to half a litre. Have a look on YouTube or on the internet, Google it, you'll find it. Put it inside your coffee machine or your kettle, let them heat up, and it works as a perfect descaler.
Oh, you'd have to leave the house though, wouldn't you? Because there'd be vinegar fumes getting in your eyes and all over the place.
Well, this is another thing actually. If normally you don't smoke and your house is a bit smoky because a whole lot of people come around and have a party, then when everyone's gone, just get out some sauces and put some vinegar in the sauces, and that will actually draw that smoke out of the air as well.
Oh, cool.
Here we go, we're at it again. Can't help us these little bits. No, it is.
Yeah, top tips on Bob's backyard.
It's nice. I like to share little things, and they are only little things, aren't they? But
every little helps.
Oh, I've lived with next to nothing. I don't complain. But over the last 18 months, I've been right next to being on the street. In fact, I have been on the street on a couple of occasions. In a foreign land, which can be a bit hairy, even if you are well experienced in the world. But,
hairy, even if you are hairy.
Little things like that. Buying a sack of rice, because I knew if I bought a sack of rice, I'd have food. I'd be all right, And that feeling that gives you, that we're all right. Whatever happens, I've got a meal on. It's a good foundation. It's a good place to start from. It's nest building. It's home building. And I think a lot of what we hear about in the world is designed to suppress us, depress us, put our minds into a state of consciousness where we think there's a problem. Well, my little journey has taught me over the last 18 months, 2 years. It's taught me, one real thing. It doesn't matter how bad it gets. It really doesn't matter how bad it gets in your life. I created my way in. I can create my way out. As long as I take responsibility for my actions. If I blame other people, if I say it wasn't me and it was others, I can't create my way out.
Do you know, really, Bob, before people start taking responsibility for their actions, they should find out who is the actor in them. Because sometimes the actor is their parents or their school or their government or their advertising or something like that. So before you take responsibility for your actions, take notice of what the source of them is. If they come right from you, then of course you take responsibility because there's no way of escaping responsibility for them. But do you know, for a lot of people's actions, they're not under their own control at all. They're under control of all their
influences,
whoever they think their peers are, and you know, the television and every other damn thing.
And those kind of actions, when you spot them for what they are, i.e. not yours, you can drop them.
So if you're going to take responsibility for anything, take responsibility for paying attention to your thoughts, to your actions, and see what they come out of. You know,
well, like that,
anytime you act out of anger, then of course you're putting anger into whatever it is that you're doing, and it doesn't matter even if you're angry righteously so for a damn good reason. And you know, we've got a whole shitload of things to be angry about, really. When you look at all the stuff that the government have done and the New World Order have done and all the other conspiracies that don't exist have done to us. You've got a great number of reasons to be very, very angry. But before you start to do anything, you first of all have to get over that anger. Get out that anger. Just don't damage someone with it. Don't send it back out into the world to do more damage.
Just karma, man. Yeah. You gotta let it go. You'll find a way.
That's dharma. That's dharma.
Well, anger tends to tears, doesn't it? And then you pick yourself up and you get on with it.
Anger eventually transmutes itself into compassion. And once it does that, then you can act. Then whatever you do, right or wrong, turns out to be just the right thing at the right time.
Somehow.
I love it. No right or wrong, just different, Prajna? Well, that was the dark.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're definitely different. That's what it's all about. I've been told I'm now leading in the fringe media. When I find out what that means, I'll let you all know. This was the dark.
Wow.
Thanks to Prajna for ringing us. We've just gone over the hour. We'll do it more. We're going to do more of this. We keep slotting them in, as many as we can get in, and still have time to breathe and eat and sleep. Well, thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for calling.
Right, see you soon, Paul. Bye, everyone.
Tune in, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Darkcity Radio, every evening, every afternoon, every morning, in fact, every moment of every day. There is chat, laughter, music, and excitement like you wouldn't believe on Darkcity Radio.